All right, guys, so we just got some interesting information from Benedict Cumberbatch. He is claiming that Doctor Strange is not going to appear in Avengers Doomsday. It says here, you see, he's just told me that Doctor Strange is taking a hiatus in the next Marvel sequel, 2026's Avengers Doomsday. Is that a spoiler, he asks? F it. Undeterred, he shares that things changed when Jonathan Majors, whose character Kang was intended to serve as the main antagonist of the next phase of the comic book film franchise, was fired in 2024 after being convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Cumberbatch's absence from Doomsday has to do with the character not aligning with this part of the story. And though he probably shouldn't be saying this, he also reveals that Doctor Strange is in a lot of Avengers Secret Wars, which will hit theaters in 2027. He's quite central to where things might go, Cumberbatch teases, and he hints that the character last seen casting spells in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will appear in a third standalone film, but is hesitant to say too much beyond praising Marvel for being collaborative. They're very open to discussing where we go next, he says. Who do you want to write and direct the next one? What part of the comic lore do you want to explore so that Strange can keep evolving? He's a very rich character to play. He's a complex, contradictory, troubled human who's got these extraordinary abilities, so there's potent stuff to mess about with. Benedict Cumberbatch, usually not one to let things slip, but either way, I definitely do find this surprising because Doctor Strange is very much a constant in the MCU at the moment. He just kind of pops up in the Avengers movies. You know that there's always a potential for him to pop up in a crossover like we saw with Spider-Man. He seems like he would be a fairly central character in the multiverse side of whatever Avengers Doomsday is doing. But on the other hand, there is also just the reality of Marvel has kind of set up a lot of storylines, right? Like, we knew that after the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, they kind of set up Doctor Strange messing around with Charlize Theron's character. Was it Charlize Theron? I think it was Charlize Theron. After Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we know that Ant-Man still has things to do with Kang. After the end of Eternals, we know that, well, Arsham the Judge is supposed to be coming and rendering his judgment. At the end of Shang-Chi, they tease that Shang-Chi is going to do stuff with Rhodey and Captain Marvel. Like, there's so many plot threads dangling about, a lot of which seemingly have to do with the multiverse. It does seem to be the case that Marvel is going to be dismissing some of that stuff, right? Like,